Good morning and welcome to Buenos Aires, Argentina. It's about 8 o'clock. We're getting a late start today. You can see the first passengers leaving off the ship. And it's not pretty as you would expect. All it is containers. But the city is back behind all this. We're in a big commercial port area and already have seen the skyline way off in the distance, with all the big high-rise buildings and the old part of town. So just as some of the other days, we're going to take you over there and see what all that we can get into. Yesterday, we didn't find the tour we liked, so we made it ourselves. We got out and hustled and filled up a bus for people to take us downtown. So the tour company gave me a hat as compliments for helping promote their tours. So yesterday ended up being a good day. So we're going to see what we get into today. And of course, if you want to take your picture with the Argentine soccer players, or what they call that, or the gaucho, you can take your picture with them as you leave the ship. And it is pretty warm again today. It's going to be, I'm thinking, in the 80s. Right now it's about 70 degrees, something like that. Perfect weather to go out and explore. We'll talk to you later. And on today's What's Happening, we'll spotlight the arts and crafts going on. You see, there's some people who have been on this trip for months. They have done back-to-back trips along South America. Some have done Antarctica 3 times this year. So they get bored at some ports and go up and do arts and crafts. And I reckon if I'd been sailing that long, I'd probably get bored of coming to the same places too. But they'll go up and do arts and crafts. And that's something that you don't see on Carnival or some of the other brands. They'll do art. They'll do a doodle. All kinds of stuff. So check that out if you don't have any plans. Welcome to Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is a port where that we have no plans. And we've heard from the cruise director to make plans, but we have none. So we don't want to pay the astronomical prices of a tour on the ship. So let me show you a little bit about this port. This port was the sketchiest of all ports that we went to on this trip. The ship docked right at this cruise berth. So right here's where we were stopped at. We got off onto a bus. The bus brought us, see, this is an industrial port, just brought us right over to the cruise terminal, which is right here. So all that was safe. But once you get into the cruise terminal, there's only a few options of shore excursions. There's a town tour and a couple others. And I can't remember what the others were, but we wanted to stay in town. So we're going to book a shore excursion right from the pier. And this is your best option. Don't leave the port on your own. Like I say, let me zoom out and show you what's around here. So this is the cruise terminal area. If by chance you want to walk into downtown, which is over in this area, you have to start walking through this mass of houses. And we're going to drop our little Google man over here and show you what it looks like. This is one of the best streets. So this is the better part of town, right outside of the cruise terminal. So as you can see, it's not some place I would want to walk through. So all of this area looks like that. And that's the main street. Let's take, for instance, you went on a little side street. This is what you'll end up in. So here, you're even in worst case scenario. Definitely wouldn't want to be caught anywhere in this area. So we catch a tour operator that's located right inside the cruise terminal and book an excursion for about $40 a person. And this excursion was both in English and Spanish. And right where you see, let me drop the Google man down again. We're going to drop him right here in the middle of the street because this is a bus station. So this is where all the buses lined up to take people on their excursions. So let me show you the excursion we got today. And this is some of the people who are leaving early. They had so much luggage they had to recruit others to help them carry all their stuff off. But then we go through the center of town, through the sculpture park apparently, because there were sculptures everywhere. Not sure. This one was broken. A hurricane that came through and ripped the pedal off of this. But there were so many sculptures around, at some point it looked like they had ran out of room for sculptures. And a guy just pointed out and said, yeah, we don't have a sculpture over here, so let's put a sculpture to commemorate it. They were just everywhere. Never seen so many in my life. The presidential house at Argentina. Or the pink house, they call it. There's a bunch of fountains around. Big square. And behind us is when they got their independence. We'll kind of try to go to the cathedral, which we think is over there, but we'll see. If you've ever seen the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace, well, this is the Argentinian version of it. These soldiers march in a line from way down the walkway and go over and change out the guards at the presidential palace, the pink house that I showed you earlier. I typically don't like to talk while we're in church, so I'll just play the piano while you look around. The cathedral is directly across the street from the presidential office. I saw a lot of carvings on the top of the building, but I couldn't tell what the story was that they were trying to tell with the carvings. So we gave up on this and left to go off to the next place. This street is a little like the French Quarter. Of course, we have statues everywhere, souvenir stands, and street performers. So have a little bit of everything over here, all brightly colored. The artist district. Walking through the back market area, looking at all the brightly colored houses, all the paintings. Local crafts area. And little shops go way up to the top. Of course, I have to have a local beer, so yeah, that's the local beer for here. And walking around checking everything out. So you find what you want, you point it out, and they give you a price. Pick out the sausage, beef, steak, wherever that you want. Just hand it over the wall. And we'll continue on walking this way. Apparently this is the dog park. All the dogs are dressed up. So this is what they do as a shelter. They set up a stand on the street, dress up the dogs, and you can come over and take a photo with the dogs. Some dogs are more photogenic than others, but they're all ready to take a picture. One of the landmark intersections has the local soccer team hoisting the trophy up high in the air. And of course, as we leave the area, we have to pass by the soccer stadium. Some of the other buildings in the area, we didn't have a clue what they were, but they look really nice, so I took a picture of them just to show you. And whenever that we got back to the ship, we were ready for a little snack. And this lady became our instant employee of the day because she was energetic and helpful and was willing to talk to us. Thank you, Miss Evangeline, for making our trip back good. And you're our employee of... And after our little snack, I was intrigued by the fuel barge that pulled up next to us, curious to see how much fuel that the ship would take on. And of course, they are getting ready for the next voyage. We're still on this voyage. We still have another day. But as we're at port, they're getting ready for the next sailing. And the ship, as it takes on fuel, starts to float up in the dock. So I was curious to see about how much fuel that we would bring on. I knew whenever that the captain talked at his talk about the engineering services, he said they would take on several thousand tons of fuel. And the ship, well, the ship is setting at the 4-meter mark in the water. So it's 4 meters from where the water touches the ship to the bottom of the ship. And at the end of this, I'll show another picture to show how much that the ship has risen out of the water after unloading fuel onto our ship. And here you can see it's at about 5 meters out of the water now. So we took on 1 meter of height of fuel. And tonight is bittersweet for dinner. Bitter because, well, this is our last night of the cruise. But we're also thinking about the next group of people that are coming on having the time of their life. This has been an excellent cruise and we're looking forward to doing it again. So yep, it's a little bittersweet. We always hate to leave because, well, we love cruising. But tonight we got to pack, get everything ready. In the morning, we're going to go on a ship excursion, seeing the town a little bit more before we head to the airport and a late night flight back to the U.S. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have this meal first. And tonight, well, all I can say is great minds were thinking alike. Because both of us tonight had the exact same thing on the meal. Cheryl and I both had the short rib beef empanadas, and it was yummy. And we both copied each other on the sweet and sour shrimp. Yeah, both of us had that, and I would get that again. It was yummy also.
A safe journey home, and right now please enjoy this incredible group. They come right here from Buenos Aires. It's a Tango and Gaucho group. Beautiful send-off, so please put your hands together for the Pampas Devils.
La vida se entrelaza entre miles de emociones. El cuerpo habla lo que la boca no sabe expresar. Cuando dejamos que la mente quede en calma y el resto de nuestros sentidos toman el control, el cuerpo puede mostrarnos mucho más que 1000 mares llenos de palabras. Lo que van a presenciar no es solo un show.
Our last nighttime tea and hot chocolate. Yeah, it's just regular old hot chocolate. Say bye. And even though this is our last night on the ship, join us tomorrow where that we'll take a ship transfer from a tour going through downtown and going to the airport. There we have a 9 o'clock flight back home, so it's going to be a long day tomorrow. And in case you hadn't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button at the bottom of your screen and be notified of the next video that comes out. And thanks for watching.